So it was interesting, wasn't it, this weekend? We started Friday with someone releasing that Joe Biden would, on Sunday, resign. Now, this is not what Joe Biden said. In fact, nobody in the White House agreed with that on Friday. In fact, just before the tweet went out, nobody in the White House even knew he was going to. I'm going to get back to that here in a second because I think something doesn't smell right. Now, the reason why they say is because of money, polling. It would wipe out the Democratic Party. Staff, friends, donors all abandon Joe Biden. I don't think that's it. Why did they announce on Friday, and who announced on Friday that a missive would be coming from the White House and he would resign? Now, this is why this bothers me. When you do something this dramatic, first time in American history, when you do something this dramatic, you don't usually just spring it on everyone. You usually will go in and have a speech, and they will announce that the president is, and they'll speculate what he's going to say, et cetera, and then he gives a speech from the Oval Office. In his stepping down from the party, he said he would be addressing it later this week. Why? Why didn't he address it from the Oval like all other presidents? Why would he just pop it out? My guess is there was another gun waiting to go off. You have until noon. You have until 2 p.m. on Sunday to resign. Or what? What did Joe Biden get in return for resigning? Were there promises made by anyone that we will make sure that you're not held responsible for any of those crimes that you might have committed? And was it said this way? Look, Joe, you and I both know there's some real flaming hot evidence here that you were selling your country out. We'll make sure that goes away and you and your family will be pardoned. But you have until noon on Sunday. I don't know. That's speculation, but I feel like there was a gun that was going to go off on Sunday at some point. There is also, they can pardon him if he steps down from presidency. I don't think he's going to be president until the end of the year or until January 20th. But they can pardon him if he's not the president. They can pardon his family, and they can very easily blame that now on if Trump gets in, it's going to be just revenge. He's just going to put all the Bidens in family, and we had to. And that'll be good enough, apparently, for a lot of Democrats. Nancy Pelosi was the driving force behind all of this. And I loved Nancy Pelosi in the last few weeks where she was like, we want Joe Biden to make the decision himself. I made the decision. I'm staying. Yeah, right. But he'll make that decision. And we're waiting for that decision. I already made that decision. As like I said, he'll make it. And we're very excited for him to make that decision. It's like Barack Obama used to say, we can get along. You just have to get in the boat with me. Oh, wait. So wait, I'm a radical that needs to be destroyed, but you'll forgive me if I sign up for everything you want to do? Oh, okay. All right. So she was the driving force behind this. Now, Alex Soros said he would not endorse Kamala Harris, yet he did right away yesterday. In fact, people are lining up. Barack Obama, strangely, did not endorse Kamala Harris. I personally don't think, and I'd love to hear your thoughts on this, I don't think Kamala is going to be the candidate in the end.
Who do you think it's going to be,
Pat?
I don't know. I don't see how they pass her up because she's a black woman. So you got double identity politics going there. She's the next in line. She'd be really tough to jettison. But if they open it up at the convention, pretty much anything could happen. So I think they'd like it to be Gavin Newsom or Gretchen Whitmer.
Oh, I hope.
Yeah. But
I hope.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. They first of all, why didn't Biden step down? There's a couple of questions. Why didn't he step down as president of the United States? If he is not capable of running a campaign, he is certainly not capable of running the White House. Now, that may have been the gun that was going to go off. 25th Amendment. We're going to take you out of the Oval. We'll leave you as president so you can finish your term, and we'll have parades for you and everything else. And you'll be remembered as one of the greatest presidents of all time. And gee, look at how George Washington you are by stepping aside for the good of the country and the party. That is a possible gun that could have gone off. Otherwise, the 25th Amendment is going to be exercised. So there's no reason why the man can't run a campaign, because all of this is he's cognitively not there. He can't do it. He can't debate. Well, if you can't debate, I don't want you in a room with Putin or Z. I don't want you on the telephone with anybody. But the Democrats are suddenly fine with that because they say he can't win. Well, Pat, look at Kamala Harris's poll. Kamala Harris, she's below Joe Biden. She is more unliked than Donald Trump is. So why would they go for somebody else who has this horrible, horrible image and likability problem, who polls just the same, if not a little below Joe Biden? Why would you have that as your replacement? That doesn't make sense.
No. Really, I mean, nobody makes sense, though, on the Democrat side. Who does make sense? Gavin Newsom has a terrible record in California that can be exploited easily. Gretchen Whitmer in Michigan, I mean, she's terrible. They've got nobody on the bench.
Right. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about what doesn't make sense to me is why you jettison somebody and you say it is because he's not capable. Okay, we'll lose. He's not capable. He's not capable of running a campaign, but he's okay to run the country for the next 6 months.
Doesn't make sense.
That bothers me. That's an inconsistency.
Yep.
Then also the other thing that bothers me is the honest ones will say, well, he just can't beat Donald Trump. His poll numbers are too horrible. Well, Kamala's poll numbers are just as horrible. So why wouldn't you... Why would you let him in and then accept this person? And why wouldn't you push for him to retire? Is it because then you lose the first female black president to be president as a election trick? I mean, why wouldn't he just resign and her take over? And then she can run and she'll have... she'll be the president and you can show what she can do and that, people get used to it. Or do you need the fact that she'll be the first black, Asian president, female? I mean, I don't think they want to waste it on her. I honestly don't. I don't think they want, I mean, they are holding that back, and I don't know how they get away with not running her as president because of that. Wait. You took her on. You took her on because of DEI. You took her on for DEI purposes, and now you're not going to let her go because you say she's not qualified? You want what, a white woman? A white man? They can't get away with that. They're so screwed.
They really are.
Every second of it.
Yeah. It's going to be a fun convention. I mean, if you thought 1968 was chaos, wow. I mean, they didn't have the kind of chaos within the party that in 1968 that they have now. This is unprecedented stuff, and this is something that you really want to pay attention to because this is American history in the making.
How is it, Pat, that we have Democrats that have been saying that this is the end of democracy. And yet the same ones that have been telling you he's fine, he's fine, he's fine, are now the ones saying, boy, he's not fine. They called us a conspiracy theorist to say that he wasn't fine. Then when it was exposed, they're the ones saying it's okay. They were also the ones, that it's not okay. They were also the ones that said, no, he doesn't need to have a primary. We don't primary him. He doesn't need to go and actually campaign and primary. They wanted to keep this quiet for as long as they could. So they're the ones, because remember, when there was no primary, the reason why people were talking about it, because a lot of Democratic voters didn't want Joe Biden. They didn't think that but those people were crazy and dangerous, their own voters. So they had 14 million people vote for Joe Biden. And now, for the third time, the presidential election in the Democratic Party is going to be decided by elites. The first time it occurred was 2016, when the Democratic National Committee manipulated money in the process to help Hillary Clinton beat Bernie Sanders. Remember that? And all the Sanders people were pissed off.
Super delegates.
The second time was 2020, when the party elites pushed out Pete Buttigieg and Amy Klobuchar, so Elizabeth Warren would split the progressive vote with Bernie Sanders, which then made Biden the candidate. Both times, people knew this was happening. Now this time, even though she was deeply, deeply unpopular with Democratic voters. Remember, she came in last. She bailed. Nobody liked her. She's now apparently going to be the candidate because they thwarted the primary system, so they didn't let the people speak. And now they're going to go to an open primary. That's what they're actually calling for. It is crazy for the Democratic Party. The ones that are shouting that, we're headed towards a dictatorship where the elites will call all the shots. They have the elites calling all the shots. It was a very small number of Democratic Party donors and the media that chose Hillary Clinton, Biden, and Harris. It was the media that influenced the donors and decided Biden should go after they should go after him on the disastrous debate performance. The ordinary Democrat, really, do you realize you don't have a voice anymore? When the media insisted he was fine, you just jumped on board with the media saying, yeah, see, you guys are liars. How many times do they have to do this to you before you wake up and go, gosh, these guys are really not good people. They're just not good people. Well, Trump. You are sacrificing your own influence, your own liberty, your voice. What, at the altar of not Trump? How many people do you think in China and Russia and Iran right now are like, well, I don't know. I mean, now it's a toss-up. Do we go for Kamala or Trump? They're all going for Kamala Harris. It's going to get even easier for them. And here's how this is going to work. So in early August, they're trying to put this together. In early August, they're going to have an open primary. So it'll be an open convention. And they'll go out and say to all the delegates, who do you want to be president? If they come up with Kamala Harris, then they're all going to be like, Kamala's the one. But then, on the second vote, it is open to the superdelegates. These are about 5,000 of the super elites. And the super elites get to vote. And whatever the super elites get to vote, whatever they vote, well, that's going to probably be, that's more important than the other delegates, I'll tell you that. So you've got about 5,000 people total that are going to be making the decision in Chicago on who you can have as your choice for president of the United States. And it's all caused by the same people who are now voting. They're all the ones that told you he was fine. They're all the ones that said, no, he's super, super moderate. He's just a fuddy-duddy. He's just a little old man that just means well.
And these are the people who are saving democracy. Let's not forget. This is all about democracy and how they're trying to save this country from the non-democratic Donald Trump. And you know that that's right. I mean, the superdelegates are going to decide this thing next month. It's absolutely what's going to happen. And I don't think the superdelegates and the super elite in the Democrat Party, I don't think they want Kamala Harris.
No, I don't. I don't think so either. You'll notice that Barack Obama did not endorse.
Right, and they spoke yesterday.
Kamala. Yeah. And it's interesting to me. I don't think that she's going to be the nominee. I could be wrong, but I just don't think something's going to happen that will make it easy for her not to be the presidential candidate. At least that's what I think. I mean, they don't want, the American people are not going to stand for another cram down. They're not. Oh, she's the first female Black Asian president. Nobody cares anymore. They just don't care anymore. And she's wildly unlikable. Wildly. I mean, first of all, the first female president didn't work with Hillary because she's as likable as Kamala Harris. Hey, the two are just, you put them in a room together, I think they cancel each other out. I think they just disappear. And her policies are a little crazy. She does have policies, kind of. At least we can look at her record and see what she was for and what she was against. And it's going to be it's not an easy transition to make for most Americans, and I believe most Democrats.